guys, this is Caitlin here, and welcome to a rather bumper news slash spoiler review slash spoiler discussion video for this week of spoilers. Now, I've decided that instead of doing the two videos this week, I am assuming that it's going to be like similar spoiler seasons and whatnot for Force of Will, in that the week of pre-release is there won't be any spoilers. Now, I might be wrong actually, and I might wake up on Monday morning and hey, there'll be more spoilers revealed, but as far as I'm aware, they don't normally reveal any more spoilers the week of pre-release, because it's usually about the time where it's like, oh, like people are starting to get the pre-release, they're going to draft and blah blah blah, get their packs and everything. So as far as I'm aware, there isn't going to be any spoilers next week. So I just decided, you know what, all the spoilers that we had from this week, I'm just going to put them in one big video and fire through them. Some of these I don't really have much to say on, and I don't want to drag out a video if I've not got much to say on like a particular bunch of cards. So that's why I decided to make it into one big video to make it easier for you guys. I just separated the other videos so I could have more to talk about. But really, I'm going to fire through it, and I'm only really going to discuss things that I'm really interested in, so that way we can, you know, snap our way through all these different cards and whatnot. And I hope you guys are looking forward to your pre-releases. I am going to be attending a pre-release at my local game store, Geek Retreat, on the Sunday. It is being held all weekend. I can't go on the Saturday, sadly, because I've got work commitments, but I'm hopefully going to go on the Sunday and, you know, do my best and see how we do there. But diving into these spoilers now, we have, first off, we're starting off with Light at the start of the week, which is Gemblade Opal, a 2-drop Light Resonator, 2 Light, 600/600 for attack and defense, Panda. Whenever you gain a gem, prevent all damage that would be dealt to this card until end of turn. Pretty straightforward here, another good little kind of filler card, depending, really it's just your taste for what you want to fill in the pandas for your 2-drops, your 3-drops and whatnot. It's a decent card. I think it's also alright for, alright for draft, alright for pre-release, I suppose. Just depends, I think, if you're going to get a lot of cards that do gem gaining or whatnot. I feel like we had a bit more of that in Ancient Knights. Might not have enough of it in this set or whatever, but it's an alright card. Next up, we have the Soothsayer Panda. This one's got like a really funny face, and I'm not too sure why. It's another 2-drop. It's 1 Light and 1 Void, 600/500 Panda. When this card enters the field, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Panda, put it into your hand. So, of course, this is really meant for your Panda deck, for your Tigris, which I won't be discussing it too much now, but judging by some leaks, you might actually be able to check out its unsealed ability sometime soon. Good luck, bad luck, a Panda. You never know what the cards will reveal. Maybe this Panda knows something about what cards we're going to get in the pre-release. Next up, we have Rainbow Shimmers, a quick cast chant, only 1-drop, which is 1 Light. I'm loving the artwork on this one, actually. It's really nice. And we've got like a huge wall of text here, so let's like wire through this one. Choose one. Look at the top X cards of your deck, where X is the number of gems you control. Put a card from among them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your deck in a random order. Or, destroy target non-magic stone, non-J/Resonator entity with total cost X or less, where X is the number of gems you control. So this is a kind of interesting one. By non-magic stone and non-J/Resonator entity, I'm assuming this is meaning that it's only additions, because right now I can't think of anything else that it could target. I suppose maybe it could target tokens, because obviously tokens I don't think count as Resonators themselves, they're just like tokens. So maybe you could destroy tokens, or you could indeed destroy additions. I believe that's the only thing it can destroy, unless I'm just being stupid here and I can't think of anything else, but I'm pretty sure that's it. A pretty alright card. I think this would definitely be a good card to include in your Panda deck. It's also an SR, so that means we're going to be seeing some hella lovely full art for this if anyone pulls it. Next up, we have the Sealing the Gates of Darkness. Another quick cast 1-drop card here. 1 Light. Remove target Darkness Resonator from the game. So again, some more support here for different colours in regards to screwing over darkness. This card art in particular, though, is really interesting. The Outer World Gate was closed by Gil and Tigris, but, so this one has actually got some lore implications here. So as far as we are aware, they've made it to the Outer World portal, and they're going to close it, but that but at the very end is quite ominous here, so I'm not quite sure if maybe something goes wrong or something, you know, escapes, as Wilser managed to escape. Like, the demons are already escaped from the outer world, so that, like, there's no point in sealing it now if they've managed to all get out, or is something going to go wrong because they've sealed it and maybe the demons are on the wrong side or something, or they've disrupted the world. I'm not too sure here, but I'm really interested to find out about Tigris and Gil teaming up here, and I wonder if it's going to have any ramifications here. Moving on to our fire spoilers, we have the Dragonoid Rogue, a 1-cost fire resonator, 400 attack and 200 defense. He comes with swiftness. At the end of turn, return this card to its owner's hand. I quite like this card. It's actually quite a nice 1-drop swiftness thing that you don't need to worry too much about it constantly going to die. I'd say in your first maybe 1 or 2 turns, you'd be able to get this guy to swing for dealing 400 and then put it back into your hand. So he does a lot more than Redcap, which is another 1-drop resonator who has swiftness and, you know, is a smaller guy. He's only a 200 attack. So I quite like this. This is probably going to be pretty good for, say, swiftness, kind of like mono red rampage and, like, you know, the like hard red rush and everything like that. The secret to a long life as a thief is to get good at running away. Well said. And then, just like we've been talking about running away, we have the FOW chicken, who seems to be on fire, and I'm not quite sure if he's meant to be on fire, or whether or not this is just the eternal state of pain that this chicken is in. It's a 1-cost resonator, it's a 300 beast. When this card is put into a graveyard from the field, put 3 strength counters on your J/ruler. At the bottom here it says, they rival Hoyle pigs in popularity among cooks. So first you can have your bacon, or you can have your chicken. I guess it just depends which one you want. I'd say the chicken is maybe a bit better, but maybe I'm biased because I prefer chicken over pork. But yeah, I think I prefer the chicken to get the 3 counters as opposed to the pig, who I think he only gives 2, or is it 1? I can't remember how many the pig gives now. It's been ages since I've looked at the Kirk deck. Next up, we have Cross Counter, a Battle Arts Chance. Feels like it's been a while since we've seen one of those. A 1-drop fire quick cast. As an additional cost to play this card, remove X amount of strength counters from your J/ruler. Prevent the next 400 damage multiplied by X that would be dealt to target J/resonator or yourself this turn. So this is a good way to say protect a resonator that you really want to make sure it lives to the next turn, or your J-ruler, because it does say J/resonator, or if your opponent is going to use some, like, say, Schrodinger's observation or something like that to deal a heavy amount of damage to you. Bearing in mind, if you have enough strength counters, you'll be able to soak up or basically block most of that damage. So feels like it's a good counter spell if in the fact that you feel like you're going to take a lot of damage at some point, or one of your big, like, important resonators is going to die. Seems like it's probably going to be good for that. And then we have Fast Food, a 1-cost fire chant. You choose one, put 5 strength counters on your J/ruler or banish a resonator. If you do, put 10 strength counters on your J/ruler or banish a beast resonator. If you do, put 15 strength counters on your J/ruler. So anyway, this is like I feel like this is the support that Rhea surely should be getting, because Carrick has so much support in gaining strength counters, but Rhea has barely any support for gaining mystery counters outside of, like, maybe herself and maybe 2 cards or something like that. Most of her cards have an awakening cost of removing mystery counters, but we still don't have really viable ways to get them outside of those minimal options. I feel like Carrick is getting a bit too much love here. Rhea really needs the support, probably more than Carrick here. Next up, we have the water spoilers. We have a Crier Mermaid, a 2-cost resonator, 2 water, a 400/500. Whenever this card blocks, prevent all damage that would be dealt to this card this turn. And this card gains 200/200 as long as the weather is rain. Not too much to say about this one here, just that you can prevent all damage that would be dealt to it. So I suppose it's a decent chump blocker in a way, in that you don't need to worry that it's only got 500 defense. It's not going to be taking any damage, so that's really nice. And otherwise, at the bottom here, we have Lady Shayla. Lady Shayla's been, so I don't know whether some kind of fight. It seems like maybe they've not been fighting Rhea. Maybe they've been fighting Welser. I can't remember his name. I still can't remember his name. So it seems like Shayla is the one who's been gravely injured. I kind of hope she doesn't die. It'd be my luck that the one character that I liked out of the 5-star deck rulers is the one that dies. That would be sucky. I hope Shayla doesn't die. We've only got Freyla, who's probably dead already. So please don't die, Shayla. Next up, we have the I'm going to say this wrong. Mosasaurus, the water dinosaur. It is a 5-cost resonator. It is 2 water and 3 void. A 1500/1000. When this card enters the field, choose one. Destroy target rested resonator, or 3 target magic stones don't recover during their controller's next recovery phase. So I suppose this is going to be like an alternative answer to Captain Hook, since Captain Hook has pretty much been banned in pretty much every kind of playing circuit. Seems like the US has adopted the ban. The majority of Europe has adopted the ban. I'm assuming that whenever or if ever the UK gets another GP or whatever, that we will be adopting this ban as well, so Captain Hook will be gone. I feel like Mosasaurus could be the replacement for that, maybe in Lumia decks who like to ramp up and try and get the Mosasaurus in, because he is like 1500, so he's got decent attack. If you manage to maybe give him flying or swiftness or something like that, he could be a big threat. I feel like maybe he's a good viable replacement for Hook. As big as a mosasaurus seems to be common insult among mermaids, he is certainly an ugly looking dinosaur fish, and he's going to eat that turtle and it's going to make me sad. And then last but not least, we have Dinosaur Surfacing, which is a 1-cost water chant. Search your deck for a dinosaur resonator, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck, or you can awaken it for 4, which is 1 water and 3 void, put it into the field instead. So I feel like this card was made specifically to get the mosasaurus out. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe it would just be if, say that you got to that turn, you really wanted to play the mosasaurus, but it's not in your hand. You could play this and awaken it, and therefore just get it into the field instead. You're still paying the same amount of cost. You're just playing 2 cards instead, but I'm not quite sure if that that would then be able to be cancelled by, say, Severing Winds, because putting into the field, does it count as technically playing a second card? Or is it because it's a stipulus of this card that it technically isn't? I'm not too sure. With a spray of brine and an enormous wave, a fearsome creature emerged. Oof. And then finally here, I'm not quite sure if I already said finally, but finally for the water ones, we have Unexpected Visitor. It's very simple, quick cast, 1 water one. Resonators in your hands, gain quick cast until end of turn. So I'm not too sure how to feel about that. I feel like maybe this one is built for Ayu in particular, but it seems like she's bumping into it. This looks like Gil a little bit. I can't tell if this is Gil or maybe this is some random elf, but I think this is Gil and Tigris. Unexpected though it may be, you'll have to treat them with hospitality. So maybe Tigris and Gil are going to meet up and meet Ayu or something, and maybe she's going to help them in their quest. I'm not too sure what their quest currently is. It seems to be finding out about Outer World and the mysterious floating island and the dark castle and whatnot. So hopefully we get some answers. Then moving into our wind/green spoilers, and we have, hey, it's a familiar face. We've got Rayula, the Dragon Priestess, who is now a wind dragonoid. She is 2 wind, 600/600. You may pay 1 void less to play elemental resonators, so immediately she is made for the guild deck. When this card enters the field, put all elemental cards from your removed area into your graveyard. She has an awakening of 2, which is 1 wind and 1 void. When this card enters the field, search your deck for a card named Viola, the Dragon Priestess, and put it into your field. Then shuffle your deck. I think someone made a post about this, is that Viola's card art mimics very strongly one of the cards, I believe it's either from Valhalla. I'm pretty sure it's Valhalla and it's not Grim Cluster, but it strongly mimics a card art from Valhalla series. I can't remember the name of the card. I believe it's like almost spitting image and reversed, but it's pretty similar, down to like the sword and everything. At the bottom here we have a Guardian of the Tower who waits patiently for the prophesied saviour, an SR. This card and the next card strongly make me believe that we are in some kind of past version of Grimm's World, and I will go on to that to reveal Viola, the Dragon Priestess, who isn't looking as evil as she last was when we last saw her. And again, she's got a green dragonoid, 2 wind, 600/600. As she enters the field, you may remove up to 6 elementals in your graveyard from the game. When this card enters the field, you can choose up to 1 for each 2 cards removed by this card. So I believe it's choose 3, then draw a card or put target resonator with total cost 2 or less on the bottom of its owner's deck, or produce 2 wind. Very interesting options there. And she has an awakening here for 1 wind and 1 void. When this card enters the field, search your deck for a card named Ruler, the Dragon Priestess, and put it into the field, then shuffle your deck. So very interesting here. A Guardian of the Tower who waits impatiently for the one to free her. And who's going to free her? I bet you that it's going to be Gil, aka Gil the Conjurer, aka probably, most likely, Gil Al-Hammett. And she is also an SR. So we're going to get some lovely Dragon Priestess, hopefully beautiful full arts in our boxes, hopefully. I'm not too sure if I want them personally because I haven't picked up the Gil deck. I might do, actually. I'm not too sure. I'm like debating on whether I want to build a Gil deck and whatnot, just because I'm like, I'm not too sure, but if he's going to get a lot of good support, then perhaps. Next up we have Envoy of the Dragon Priestess, which is a 3-cost resonator, 2 wind and 1 void, a 700 dragonoid. When this card enters the field, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a dragonoid from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So ideally, you would play this if you really want to try and search out either Viola or Viola for Gil in support of him, as opposed to elementals. And the guide showed Gil the way, leading him to a tower he'd seen in his dreams. I wonder why he's dreaming about a tower, and probably about a castle, and probably about a floating isle. He's dreaming about a lot of stuff. And here's the tower itself. It's the Eternal Tower, a 3-cost addition, 2 wind and 1 void. Whenever a chant with total cost 1 or less is played, cancel it. This includes your own cards as well, I believe. This includes both sides of the field, so this will cancel your 1-drop spells. So I hope you're not planning on running any 1-drops in your deck, because you won't get to play them. A lot of people have been arguing about whether this is going to break the game, whether this is actually going to make the game basically unplayable, and I think people need to stop panicking a little bit. It's like, okay, this seems like a scary card, but you have to think about who is going to play this. Is this going to even be the meta, or is this going to be like, because this is like kind of like hard kind of stall, and at the same time I feel like maybe not too many people are running spells or chants that are just 1 cost. I feel like more people would play 2 cost, maybe 3 cost chants, or maybe like chants that would be pay 1 and X. So I feel like this one isn't going to be too much of a bother. I guess it just depends on how much people want to overthink it and panic about it and whatnot. And then moving on to our darkness ones to round off the video, we have another familiar face, but a different attire. We have Jeanne d'Arc, Mad Maiden, a 2-cost darkness resonator, 700/500 human. This card gains swiftness, and this card cannot be destroyed as long as you control 3 or more J/resonators, so very nice. And if this card would be dealt damage to a J/resonator, put a minus 100/100 counter on that J/resonator for each 100 damage instead. So I feel like I'm trying to like decipher this and whatnot. So if for each damage or whatever you put the 100/100 counter, does that mean that Jeanne is then not taking any damage at all? Because it says if this card would deal damage to Resonator. Actually, no. If this card would deal damage to Resonator, put a minus 100 counter on that. Okay. So instead of Jeanne not taking any damage herself, she is dealing her 700 attack, or however much damage she is dealing to J/Resonator, and putting down both their defense and their attack. I almost got a little bit confused there about the wording of that, but I think I understand it better now. So she seems to be really interesting. I think she would be pretty good for any darkness deck. Maybe if you do want to try and combo it with Rhea, I suppose she would be a good option. She is an SR though, so it's going to be pretty hard to get a hold of her. She strikes with such devotion it leaves a lasting impression on the opponent. Next up we have, hey look, another mystery chant. Dark Blade's Harvest, a 3-drop darkness chant. It is 2 darkness and 1 void. Destroy target Resonator, or you can awaken it by removing 2 mystery counters from your J/ruler. This card deals damage equal to the attack of that Resonator to your opponent. Again, I like these cards for Rhea, but at the same time, we need more support for Rhea in the same scale as Carrick. Carrick has so many options of getting strength counters on him. Poor Rhea doesn't. She has literally her stone, I think 1 small Resonator, and like the giant 5-cost dragon, or not dragon, the dinosaur, which nobody really wants to play. So I feel like Rhea really needs badly some more support to get her mystery counters. Otherwise, I don't think she's gonna like be as viable in the future. Next up, we have Ceaseless Devotion. So it seems like Jeanne is protecting Rhea right now. So maybe Rhea is in charge of the dark fairy tales from some of them. I know like Jeanne is technically not a fairy tale. She's more like a person of myth, a person of legend. But it seems like she's highly devoted to protecting Rhea for some reason. Rhea also looks a little bit surprised by this devotion for some reason. It's a 2-cost chant. It is quick cast. It is 1 darkness and 1 void. As long as target Resonator you control is in the field, if damage would be dealt to you, it's dealt to that Resonator instead until end of turn. So this is probably a good way to, like, if you're targeting something you've got that's got a lot of defense to soak up the hit and protect you. It could also even just be the way that it soaks up the damage and, you know, you can survive another turn. Leave everything to me, says Jeanne, protecting Rhea for some reason. And then finally, for our last card here, we have Faith in the Darkness, a very solemn looking card here. It's a 2 darkness chant. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may put a Resonator with total cost 2 or less from among them into the field. If you put Jeanne d'Arc and Mad Maiden into the field this way, you put two 100/100 counters on it, and it gains swiftness and first strike until end of turn. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is basically great support for Jeanne in particular. It's amazing how 1 Resonator has like really good support, and yet her ruler that she's trying to protect doesn't seem to have the great amount of support for her either. So I guess everyone's just going to make those Jeanne decks. Is going to be amazing, and I've got nothing really more to say than I really like this card art. It is very nice, the lighting of it, the way that she's solemnly kind of standing by this cross and whatnot. I fight that the future might yet be saved from ruin. So I wonder if she knows something about the future that is to come. But anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this, a bit of a longer video now for the Force of Will, for going over these spoilers. Now I do believe that this is going to be the last spoiler video we're going to have. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and we're going to be doing spoilers next week as well. But I think this is the last one, because they normally don't reveal every single card in spoilers. They sometimes release the database and whatnot just before or the week of pre-release, so we might be seeing some of those there. I won't be discussing any that are spoiled through the database. I'm going to leave them there, and we'll wait until I eventually do my box opening of Advent of Demon King for that. But I hope you enjoyed these spoilers, guys. Let me know what your favourite cards were that have been revealed, or are you waiting for something new in particular to come out, and are you all hyped for pre-release? Because I am super hyped as well. I really want to try and get myself that awesome looking playmat for getting first place and whatnot at pre-release. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this now, and see all you guys next time.